Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity, Vimeo picked as Best Short Films, Berlin Commercial Awards, Cyclope Festival are just some of the recent awards that A Lost a Music Video has taken recently. Amidst all this glory, 6 months later and still being nominated for awards outside the music industry, reaching a new peak with the release of a documentary, I believe that it is important to understand where does all this acclaim come from. This video won't be a cinematographic review or analysis of the music video, but we will look into the themes which give this music video the dark yet nuanced tones and mechanisms to build the cinematographic masterpiece that it is. I am writing this after rewatching the album discussion between Namjoon and Jimin and grasping a better and more secure picture of Namjoon's album. As a short review for now, Right Place, Wrong Person is undoubtedly an album that needs to be listened to more times to fully grasp its essence. I still can't move on from the I Lost a music video as it has so many things to unpack, and I want to try my best to lay them here, to explain them to myself, and to leave a small record for anyone who might need it. The music video starts with a small animation meant to anticipate Namjoon's performance at a talk show, which opens with the phrase, "Inside Namjoon's brain," placed as a label on his forehead. This made me wonder whether it could reference the irony of the thin line between art and ethics, which has been highly modified and changed once with the entertainment industry, because now, each lyric from his highly autobiographical works could be easily turned against him and becomes either a question meant to put him in a situation or a controversy if it is used to satisfy the so-called needs and curiosity of the general public. The animation could also be easily interpreted as the limited freedom he has in such contexts and how, despite it, he will still be manipulated by a script, other rules, the technology, and the cameras. Just like in an animation, where everything is limited by the wishes of the one who controls the animation, as they think they know what the public wants. And another small detail is how that maze, which is meant to represent the dilemma mentioned before, is easily molded into the graphics and design of the show, representing how everything, each aspect of someone exposed to the public, becomes a new headline, a new story, a new unserious topic. We are introduced to two typical host shows who are the bad actors who don't even try to hide it, the fake smiles, the irony, how they talk Korean feels somehow as if they are mocking them, trying to make him feel welcome while showering the entire introduction with sarcasm. I think it might be a criticism not only to the industry but especially to how they have been treated in the beginning, and how much that hasn't changed since then. This further insinuates that maybe it's not about them or their status, but it's something deeper that the Western industry simply cannot accept. On their mugs, it is written Namjoon, which would translate to Inside Namjoon, and it might be another reference to Inside Namjoon's brain, and the dilemma of the artist's works and social media mainstream and how his image, or worst, his work and privacy, becomes a brand used for marketing or entertainment purposes. Namjoon appears in the frame, lip-syncing and then appearing lost. I am wondering if this is a reference to the alienation they have felt on those American shows and how the attitude of the presenters might have had a certain impact on how they felt before delivering the performance, but how they still had to pull through it and not fall into the trap and conform to what they were expected to conform to. I am not talking about the lip-syncing here, that is another aspect, and I really want to point out the exaggeration of the action and the lack of synchronization. Funny but sad, but it does represent a reality. I want to notice a lyric here, during this time he days, take it for the love. I wonder whether, in this context, this lyric could also interpreted as, endure it for the love. As in endure what you are going through right now, this irony, sarcasm, and humiliation, to show your fans your performance and payback for their love. Especially before he says, how do you get lost / take it from the love like us. In the video where he listened to the album with Jimin, he mentioned the burden of being the leader, how it was always expected from him to hold speeches and interviews and always be up to the level, and being so connected with that image which itself had its purposes, made him lose himself. From this perspective, maybe the name of the show, The Lost Show, isn't chosen there by chance, or to reflect the title of the song. Maybe it has a deeper meaning, how everything we were seeing on our screens, to him felt like a really poor show or script, where he had to show up to these talks and shows on TV and pretend that he didn't see all the xenophobia, alienation, and irony the entire time he was there. As he is standing in the maze, around him appear more like him, maybe an allusion to the copycats or even people who pretend to know and to be them, because in the end, they remain in the shadow, while the light keeps shining on Namjoon. Suddenly he stops singing and looks around and he sees himself in other people's faces, or maybe more accurately would be that others see themselves in Namjoon's words because he is the one delivering them. This makes me think how despite the appearances, everyone, the usually unconscious people working in the system, even the fake lady who introduced him sarcastically, is at core humans who, Volans Nolans, are either awakened back to reality by art. The person behind the camera who started singing at once with Namjoon and continued even when he stopped, or they find themselves in art and words. On a deeper level, the look of dissociation on this face might be connected to a certain type of responsibility he feels. He might feel it towards his fans or the public in general, because he is aware that his words carry weight and many people might even find themselves in them, or might help them understand their feeling or situations better. But I think that this moment of dissociation is deeper connected to the feeling of responsibility he feels towards the people he represents. Now we kind of go behind the scenes, there where we are met with the anonymity of each industry where you are everyone until you stand out. He somehow seems to be the only one who is lost, because he is more dynamic than the rest and doesn't follow a script or the norms. But, anyway, they are all limited in their own limits, which have been created for them and handed down. In all that monotony, there appears an exit sign, and it's a matter of luck of who gets to be the one to escape, a play of rock, paper, and scissors. I know that the arrow for exit signs always points at the top, but in this context it makes me wonder whether it could also mean that the only way to escape this anonymity is to climb up the social ladder. There it is promised that something will be different when, in essence, it is the same thing. The moment where he climbs up to the top being sustained by the others makes me wonder if it is a commentary on the collectivist culture which is followed by Korea too, and how now he has become a representative of the many, a symbol, but at the same time the big number of people which stand behind even the smallest success. Namjoon is now at the top, the figure representing everyone else, faced with the burdens of another absurd he escaped from, still having to work to represent and honor the people in the shadow. Although I think that what I have touched upon is kind of superficial, because the true majesty of this music video is reflected in the depth of these themes. At the end of the day, this music video can also be interpreted as what goes through Namjoon's head while he is at a talk show, and how this all deeper escalates into an introspection which covers so many themes from belonging to individuality and discovery. The international acclaim of this music video is proof of its artistry and once again places Namjoon as once-in-a-lifetime artist, being able to convert raw emotions into a unique form of art which speaks to thousands of people.